First of all, I'd like to thank Professor Tharu for such an interesting, thought-provoking, stimulating presentation to finish our event. We're going to start with the announcement of the winners of the British Council competition. So to begin with, I would like to invite Daphne Pavlitz onto the stage.
Perfect pronunciation, thank you. There are lots of prizes to give out today. There are prizes from British Council, from EFL-U, from Oxford University Press, Cambridge University Press, and Trinity College. So many, many prizes. So please bear with me, I'll go as quickly as I can. With some of the prizes, I'll call out lots of names, and I'd like you to start coming up here. We won't wait till you get here, because if you're sitting over there, it's going to take 10 minutes. Okay? First of all, could I invite Alison Barrett to come onto the stage, please? The competition that was on the stall, I think some people read correctly that it said all of the answers were on the stall. One person got all of the answers correct, one person. And they have won a trip to EFL in Liverpool next year. Now you'll hear my bad pronunciation. That's Vipulkumar A. Bharatiya, or Paratija. Are you here?
Vipulkumar Bharatiya.
Bridgesanan. Bridgesanan? Bridgesanan. No? That was a year's course, TKT course, and the exam. A nice prize. Next prize, Fazana Shamin. Hardik Jashi. Hardik Jashi. Yes!
Hello friends, my name is Hardik Joshi.
Pundulka Katka.
This.
If you get a prize and it's not the sort of thing you want, appropriate, you can either give it back to me and I'll give it to someone else, or you can pass it on to someone else, but tell us the name of the person you've passed it on to, because some things won't be perhaps suitable for you, okay? It's a time to have friends and be kind. Gopi Christian Bali. Mrs. C. Naraja Reddy. And Sandeep Sharma. Sandeep Sharma. Somnath Kumba.
Priyanti Sumanavira.
Hamida. Nita Shetty. Nita? Budamita Brahmanik.
Madhumita Pramanik.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alison. Next are the prizes for EFL, and these are 1-year membership to EFL in UK plus a SIG. Could I please ask Sue and Kalyan to come onto the stage? Is Kalyan here? You thought my pronunciation was bad then? Everybody at the conference is in this box, all of you. There's 1,200 people in this box. You may win a prize. If you don't want to have it, please say and we'll put it back in. There's 15 for the teacher education SIG, and 15 for the assessment evaluation SIG.
This is testing evaluation.
Right, testing evaluation SIG. John Vijay Kumar. John Vijay Kumar. Please come up here if you're here. Tapasaha. Tapasaha. Kotapale Venkata Rama Rayuda. Should I stop if it's so funny? No, carry on, okay. Ujwala Bhopale. Amrita Shende. Samata Payale. Dr. Rashmi Vij. Asma J.
Abdul Galil Abdullah Muhammad Ahmed, Arunashis Bhattacharji, Minakshi Mehra, Shaina Barik, GA GK Eknaike, Saswati Das Mohapatra, Swagatika Panigrahi, KM Tripathi, Raghuveer Nagar, Kiran Babu Ghanta, Asawari Rana, Krishanti Victoria, Nuru Saba, Dr. Pandiri Jani Reddy, Usha R, Lal Noon Siami, Harish Sharma, A. Lavanya, Rajiv Ranjan, Sachindra Patel.
These people now have a TSIG registration.
I will.
9, 10, 11, 12. I've only got 13. These two as well. They need to be put with.
We don't really have time to do the other 15, and Claire suggests that we announce it some other time because it's going to take forever.
We
and
just
we
put,
could
no, we need to put.
do it extremely quickly.
All right.
Okay. Nivedita Bidadur, Prasanna Venkateshwaran,
It's not here. I know. It's not.
Ashish Hivale, Hilda Annie Grace, Yasmin Lodi, Anil Sharma, Adil Dashela, Mohammed Damom, Pawar Mayura Ravindra Singh, Ramraj M, Imtiaz Alam, Govindaya Godavarti, Najwa Mohammad Saeed Mohammad Al Shargabi, Ketki Ramesh Shinde, Lalita Padmini Mudiyan Salage Varnakula Surya, Shakti Dandapat, Rajesh Khaturi, Zabihullah Alamyar.
The Cambridge University prizes, I'm going to announce them, but you'll be given your prize afterwards, okay? That's Suresh Kumar, Dr. Shivani Pujala, and Praveen N. So please claim your prizes afterwards from Cambridge. Well done. From Oxford University Press. Yes, but we were told not to be out on the stage, weren't we? I was just told not to. All right, sorry. Those people from Cambridge can now come up onto the stage. We do have their prizes. Are those people here? Suresh Kumar.
From Punjab,
Dr. Shivani Pujala
from Secunderabad,
and Praveen N.
from
and Praveen.
from EFL-U. Okay.
And now Trinity College prize is an iPod Shuffle, and the winner is Srinivasa Rai.
Rao.
Doesn't matter, they know who it is.
Srinivasa Rao.
He's coming. He's
Okay.
coming. There were 3 Oxford University prizes, but only 2 of the people are here. One has gone home. I'll announce them. One is Sridhar Babu and Prakash and Shwetank, but he's already gone. I'm sorry that's taken a long time because so many people have left. Congratulations if you've won a prize. Thank you for entering the competitions on the various stalls and being such good sports. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for Daphne for that thought-provoking talk on the importance of pronunciation in the modern language classroom. I'd like to move on to our next speaker. I'm probably going to pronounce this badly now and embarrass myself, but Amol Padwad.
Hopefully, I am standing in front of you for the last time here. This conference started with a very significant symbolic story of a monkey who was given the job of taking care of some plants by watering them. And in order to see whether the plants were growing or not, the monkey uprooted all the plants to see how their roots were growing. And that story was a reminder to us that we should ensure that our assessment evaluation should not turn out to be uprooting for our learners or even for ourselves. I think we can also end this event with another simple, short, symbolic story of the famous debate between a hammer and a key, both of whom were trying to open a lock. The power of the hammer can't open the lock, but the small key can open the lock. And when the hammer asks the key how it managed to open the lock, the key gives a very significant message. If you try to change things from outside, probably you end up breaking them down. You enter the heart and try to change from within. And then there is the real change. In our classrooms, we are often concerned with whether our students are learning or not. But more often than not, we end up measuring that learning by visible indicators. And still we are aware that learning is a very complex, diverse, rich process. Our students keep learning lots and lots of things, many more things than we teach them. We'll be doing the same mistake here if we try to measure the success of this conference by looking at the number of delegates here, or the number of speakers, or the number of events, number of sessions, or I think even number of prizes. But these are definitely an important part of the success of the conference, and I believe you will all agree with me that in those terms the conference has been immensely successful. But then the CPD, the development, the growth went on happening in all other aspects, during the coffee breaks, over the lunch time, in the evenings, at the cultural program, in little corners everywhere where you found so many small groups huddled together, making old friends, renewing old friendships and making new friends. In myriad ways, in so many diverse ways, this conference had been immensely successful as well. I'm very sure we are not the same persons who came to this conference. We are going away developed, changed, enriched persons. I hope we are also taking away with us some sparks. And I might remind some of you of a promise that we made to ourselves in the CPD think tank coffee shop, we are also carrying away some viruses with us. So it will be now our moral responsibility to pass on to others, to share with others whatever we got to learn from here. I congratulate the organizers who put together a very efficiently managed event. But more than that, I congratulate myself and all of you, we all who came here together and shared our rich treasure house. Thank you very much, and thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Amal. I'd like to invite Kalyan Chattopadhyay to the stage.
It's my pleasure to represent TTED, meaning Teacher Training and Education Special Interest Group of IETFL in this conference. I just like to tell you that the feeling in the TTED Special Interest Group Committee is we are very proud to be associated with this conference, and the conference has already made a history. We have 1,200 teacher educators and teacher trainers in this conference, which is part of the history. So TTED is very proud to be part of this history. And we would love to be associated to future events here in India. And we are also very happy to welcome the new members to our family. And we hope that the new 15 new members who are joining TTED SIG from the 1st of April will help us to disseminate our activities and will help us to contribute to the Indian teacher training scenario in a much more befitting manner. That's our sincere hope. I take this opportunity to welcome you to our Glasgow Online events. Yes, so that's the Glasgow Online, which every year British Council supports. Here you don't have to be members, so you can simply join there. Some of you really join that, and I think some of you have already joined it. So join us there. Those who are not going to IETFL conference, you can get the feel of the conference. The plenaries and some of the sessions will be live streamed, so you will have all the details of the presenters' slides, and you can interact. You can start interacting with the presenters right now. So welcome to Glasgow Online, and a big thank you to all for attending this, and a big thank you to British Council for partnering with us for this conference. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kalyan. And our next speaker is Sue Hackett.
Hi, everybody. Very quickly, thank you so much to the British Council and indeed to LTI for inviting IETFL to take part. It's been a great pleasure to be here and to meet all of you. I think I speak for both myself and Kelly, and we've learnt an enormous amount. I'd like to welcome the 30 new members to IETFL, and I hope you can share what you get from it with your colleagues. Thank you very much, and I hope to be in touch with you soon.
Thank you, Sue. Our valedictory address is going to be given by Michael Carrier. Some of you will have met him during the week, but just to tell you, he is the Director of English Language Development for the British Council in London.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's been a very successful and exciting conference, and it's been a very long day for you today, so I'm going to shorten my presentation if I can be clever enough to edit it as it takes place. I was going to do a short presentation on the PowerPoint. Our friends will switch over. I've come from London especially to learn about all of the challenges and excitements in teacher education here in India, and it's been really exhilarating and stimulating for me. I've learned so much in the last few days, and my head is kind of spinning with all of the different things that I've learned, like the CCE and the challenges about that, and multilingual context and so on. So I want to just reflect a little bit on what CPD means for us and how we can support, through the work that we do, the work that you're doing, the absolutely vital work that you're doing. Now, I've been very fortunate in speaking to many people around the conference the last few days, people from many of the 35 states, and these are some of the things that people said to me. I was quickly jotting down the kind of reactions people had to coming to the conference. Fantastic chance to network with other people. Enjoyed sitting across the breakfast table with somebody from other states. Ways to exchange ideas and learn more, different ways of evaluating and assessing teacher education. I won't read all of the issues on the slide. What's really interesting is that there's so many different viewpoints. Many of the sessions I went to and some of the meetings were very passionate. People had passionate views disagreeing with each other. So it's clear that there is enormous amounts of support for change and development in teacher education. And we hope through our work in supporting this conference and supporting teacher education in India that we at the British Council can contribute in some small way to helping you achieve those changes that you want to reach. Some of the themes that came up in this conference were very exciting. Obviously, assessment and evaluation because of that being the main theme, but reflection, teaching people to be self-reflective, to understand that CPD and development comes from within, that you have to initiate that yourself, I found was a very strong theme, and it was very important to see people talking about quality standards and effectiveness of teaching and a focus on learner outcomes. Because you're very modest, most of you did not speak about the most important theme, which is you. You, the audience, the teacher educators. You have an enormous influence, as do all English teachers, on the society in which you live. Just think about these statistics for a minute. An average teacher will teach in a year, an English teacher, several classes of 30 or 40 children, depending on the school. In a year, she may teach 200, 300 people. In a career of 30 years, 35 years, she will teach, she will influence, she will change the lives of maybe 10,000 people. That's one teacher. If you, as a teacher educator, reach 100 teachers in your career, and I'm sure it will be many more, but just 100, if you change the way they teach, you will have indirectly influenced 1 million people. Think about that. You can change the lives of 1 million people. If they can get better results, get better education, get better opportunities in their lives, you've made an enormous difference as teacher educators. And if we look at what underpins the work that we do, whether we're English teachers or English teacher educators, we're focused on helping people gain the advantage of this global tool, this global skill of English. English is no longer a national language. It's an international language. It's a tool for developing your life skills. It's a tool, as David Gradol said in the little texts here from his book on English Next in India. It's a tool for accessing education, for building your employability skills, for improving social mobility in society. So English is a tool that we, together with your teachers, help to bring to the students and give them life chances that they wouldn't otherwise have. And it's especially important when we look at the broader context of society. There's a lot of discussion at the moment now about 21st century skills. What does that mean? What do we need to be successful as professionals, as citizens in the 21st century? What does it mean to be a global citizen as well as a national citizen? There's a very interesting book here called 21st Century Skills. If you haven't read it, I recommend it to you. And it talks about these 7 skills: critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, collaborative working. These are different ways that people need to live and work and thrive in modern society. And as educators, we have a responsibility to bring these skills to people. And the most important facilitator is at the end of the slide, which is adding English as a 21st century skill to help people manage the other skills to get access to education and opportunity outside their own language area, and to be able to gain access to knowledge and to gain access to other people. In this kind of conference, We need to have a common language, and when you come to IATEFL in Glasgow, as I'm sure, I hope many of you will see that we have to have a common language in order to communicate. This conference, though, stands alone as the biggest teacher-educator conference for English that has ever taken place. There's never been a conference this big focused purely on teacher educators. You should be very proud of that. And I think we can all take great comfort in that, and we hope that next year there will be at least 2,000 of you, and perhaps 3,000. Please, bring all of your friends. We talked a lot about CPD. I took some of the quotations from the session this morning here on the screen, defining CPD, and we don't have time to go into the reflective cycle, which I've also shown there. But CPD is such an important factor, in my view, in improving how you can improve the skills of teachers and bring better results for students. In the British Council, we believe in this very strongly. And one of the things that we have done is develop a CPD framework to try to give teachers a motivation and a structure and a career journey, a pathway through different levels, which we indicate here, from a starting apprentice teacher through a developing teacher, through a proficient and a specialized teacher or trainer or administrator later in career. And what we have done, and we're hoping that through our CPD think tank we can work together with you to make some contribution here in India as well, is to create training events and CPD opportunities like portfolios, like peer observation, like presenting at workshops for each level of this CPD framework, so that teachers see, when they start their career, they see something stretching out in front of them. They see a pathway. They see a motivation to keep studying and to keep learning and to keep moving. A crucial part of this, though, is to help teachers come to grips with the new realities, the change that is all around us, the change that happens through education policy change, the changes in society, the changes in technology. And learning technologies represent a huge challenge for us as teacher educators, as part of CPD. People need to learn how to use new technologies when they are available. And what we're very excited about is that here in India, you have possibly the most groundbreaking change in technology in the classroom, which is this little thing on the left-hand side. I'm sure most of you recognize this. This is a picture of the first version of the Akash tablet, which apparently will be finally launched here in India in March, and will be supplied to at least 100,000 100,000 of them will be supplied to schools in the first part of this year. Other countries are making experiments with learning technologies like this, and it's a huge challenge for teacher educators. One of the things that we need to think about, how do we help people make this change in their pedagogy, in the effectiveness of their learning? How do we evaluate whether technology is a good idea or whether it's being used just as a gimmick? So lots of things that we can learn about there. To finish, I think the most important thing is to try and keep alive the spirit and the buzz that I've seen in attending this conference. As the previous speaker said, people huddling in corners, talking, sharing ideas, making new friends. So 3 requests of you, please. Between now and the conference in next year, keep sharing these ideas. Find ways through social media, through the British Council and other Facebook pages, through emails and so on, through the forums on our Teaching English website. Keep sharing and keep in touch and keep building your personal network of teacher educators. Keep talking to other people, teachers, policymakers, head teachers, to help them understand what the challenges are and where we all hope to be going with improved teacher education in English language. And keep implementing. It's very easy to talk about new ideas and good practice. It's really most important to do it, to do it on a daily basis and to make sure everybody can see best practice in action. Thank you all for coming to this wonderful conference. Thank you for participating, and I hope very much to see you next year. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Michael. I've heard that people have been confused between Michael Connolly and Michael Carrier over the last few days. Just so you know, he's the important one, okay? Right. So now, could we have all the volunteers? Oh, they're already there. Great. And could we have Padmaja? Thank you.
I would like to thank all volunteers who have helped us for the past 3 days. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for all your help and assistance. And as a small token of appreciation, can you please come over?
Manwarul Haq, Pratyusha, Shiva Prasad, Shweta, Tabita, Amit Kumar, Anu, Ravi Kumar D, Nagendra, Sadanand Meher, Bairi Swami, Satyanarayana Ji, Narsimlu, Deepak Kumar, Suresh Babu, Gopal Chandra Nayak, Paresh Kumar Bhoi, Banushri Biswal, Kamble Dhammapal, Arul Nehru, Ravindranath Sanam, Anand Kumar B, Saraswati Rangaraju, Prithviraj, Kannan, D. Sudipti, N. Suravardhan, Kankan Das, S. Srinivas, Manjit Kumar, Sudarshana, Zohur, Vijay Kumar, Naushad, Deepesh, Shankar, Uma, Mrinalini, Tasneem, then T. Bharati, Shakul Tiwari, Sumaya Sultana, Santosh Kumar, Sonia M, Arpita Sharma, Anil Nayak, Lakshmi R, Nagaraju, and Kiran Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just the sheer number of volunteers tells you how much work goes into this type of conference. So many people, and I'd like to give them one more round of applause. Okay, we have one more prize winner, and it's the winner of a competition on feedback on CNN IBN film, which we produced on English and development. Could we have Cherry Matthew Philippos? He's our major tweeter. Stop looking at your tweets and come on to the stage. Thanks very much. Okay, our last speaker today is Paul Gunashekar.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest show in the ELT world is about to end, and it cannot possibly come to an end without an acknowledgement of our gratitude to all those individuals and organizations that have contributed to its unqualified success. I wish to place on record our thanks and appreciation to Professor Amritavalli, Vice Chancellor in charge of the English and Foreign Languages University, for her unstinting support and for a fine inaugural address. Equally, our thanks go out to Mr. Rob Lyons, Country Director of British Council India, Mr. Chris Brandwood, Director English of British Council India, and Mr. Michael Carrier, Head of English Language Innovation, British Council, for their support to the conference. An event of this significance and scale can be successfully organized only when major institutions come together as partners with the common purpose of promoting current ideas, disseminating relevant information, and establishing professional networks. We must therefore acknowledge the close ties that have been established between the British Council and the EFL University as a consequence of this particular conference. A major share of our gratitude deservedly goes to the organizing committees of the two institutions. The British Council team, comprising Alison Barrett, Claire Prince, Daphne Pavelets, Padmaja Shivakumar, Debanjan Chakrabarti, Rebecca Chetri, Pavitra Mala, and Aruna Bhaskar, and the EFL-U team, comprising G. Rajagopal, S. Mohan Raj, Geeta Dorairajan, M.E. Vedasharan, Maya Pandit, S. Upendran, Chanchala Nayak, Jayashri Mohan Raj, Hemalata Nagarajan, C. Jangaya, Meera Srinivas, Padmini Shankar, Revati Srinivas, Gayatri Raman, Leena Mukhopadhyay, and R.V. Anuradha. These two teams spent weeks and months planning the conference with scrupulous attention to detail. We also acknowledge the support provided by the English Language Association of India, Teachers Association of India, and the IATEFL special interest groups, in particular Amol Padwad, K. Ilango, and Sue Hackett. This ambitious conference obviously required generous funding, and this was provided by our principal sponsors, Oxford University Press, Cambridge University Press, Trinity College and Macmillan, and our additional sponsors, Young India Films, Orel Technosystems India Private Limited, and the International Study Association on Teachers and Teaching. In this context, we also thank the Department for International Development for sponsoring over 100 teacher educators. If we were able to pull off a conference of such mammoth proportions, it was largely due to the combined efforts of our very special band of 50 student volunteers from the EFL University, who took on the daunting task of playing host to well over 1,000 delegates. Our gratitude to all our volunteers. We wish to thank all the delegates, especially those who have traveled long distances, and all our plenary speakers and panelists for having readily accepted our invitation. Oh, I forgot. Alison asked me to thank a certain Paul Gunashekar, so thank you, Paul. Like marriage, conferences are popular because they combine the maximum of temptation with the maximum of opportunity. So here's inviting all of you to the 3rd Teacher Educators Conference next year. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Paul. That brings to an end our conference. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I know no one here is interested in certification. You're only interested in continuous professional development. But if by any chance anyone wants a certificate, you can get it at the registration desk. Okay? Thank you very much and goodbye.